Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be doing this My Favorite Thing sketch. I got it from Pinterest, and I want to say it's from Christy Marcotte, who does the 6x6 paper pads. But I will have my link to my Pinterest is always down in the more section, so you guys can always click over there and check out my boards. And we're still using this Kaiser Craft paper collection. I'm getting down to the last few pages. And for this one, I'm bringing out an oldie but goodie, the Crop-A-Doll. And it's going to round the one edge up on the top right hand side. And I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side to do my little rounding of my corner. Now, I know My Favorite Things, they have like dies that coordinate with a lot of their sketches that they do. If you have the die, go ahead and use it. But for me, I don't have it, so I'm just rounding the one edge. It gives a similar look, and it's all good. So she measured out this pattern paper to be, I think it's 4 3/4 by 3 3/8, I think it was. I wanted to put a border on mine, and since I'm using 6.5 by 6.5 paper, I made my pattern paper 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And then my mat, I made it 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. So that way I would have just a nice thin border of gray around the pattern piece. And for me, especially using the different patterns, I like having the mats because it does separate it better. Because I tend to not distress my edges with the distress inks. It's just easier. It's a similar way, just another method. Now on the base card, which is A2 size, I'm going to put down my matte gray, which is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And she even writes in the bottom, like for added layers, do an 1/8 of an inch. Just add an 1/8 of an inch to the measurements that she figured out. So this was the best way that I could work it, and I don't lose on my pattern paper, because once I trimmed it to the 4 by 4 3/4, it allowed me to just be able to cut it right in the middle at 3 1/4, and I got 2 pieces. So right now I am adding the pattern paper, and I have a little bit of a struggle. For some reason, I kept wanting to put it over to the right. So you can see I was able to kind of put it down and then pick it right back up, and you'll see me pull it off again. That's because of the art glitter glue. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If I didn't have that on there, that would have been stuck down and it would have been all she wrote. So now we're going to finish attaching the top pattern paper. Same thing, ATG tape and then the art glitter. And then for the 3 strips that are on the right hand side, I decided to use a silver mirrored paper, and I'm just grabbing some of these thin foam strips. I want to say they're by Doris, and I'm probably saying it wrong. But I just wanted to add a little bit of dimension. And a lot of times when I'm doing these videos, by the time you guys see it, I've already done one, and after doing that one, I decide, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to uplift this part or put some foam behind this one, just to give it a little added, change, you know what I mean? When I did the first one, I kept the strips exactly to how she measured them, which was a half an inch by 1.5 inch. And I thought it was too thick. I really didn't like how it looked, and you'll see because I'll bring it over. But so what I did is I took my strips and I cut them in half. So I made 1/4 inch strips by 1.5, and I like it much better that way. And then I'm just taking some Nuvo drops, and I'm going to put them around. They have in the picture 3, but I don't know who can do just 3 Nuvo drops. I can't. So I'm going ahead and I think I wound up putting 5 up here, and then I realized I didn't plan my sentiment. So I'm going to get that created real quick and come back. And you can see here I did a hello on the gray paper with white embossing powder, and I took some punches and I'm going to create a little like sentiment, I guess you would call it a tag or whatever. I think it's a tag punch. I got it a while ago from Stampin' Up, but it works great. I love putting these two together, the little window punch and then the decorative one behind it. And then I'm just going to take the red tape off of the foam that I'm putting on the back and attaching this to the card. I'm going to put this one over to the bottom right. And then I'm adding 2 more drops, one up above the hello and one just slightly below it. So here's the wider one, and I brought it over, and you can see here, see how thick the strips are? To me, that 1/2 inch was just way too thick. I liked it better with the thin. So you guys do, down at the bottom, we'll say choice A is the 1/4 inch and choice B is a 1/2 inch. And just tell me down in the comments below, which one do you like better? Do you like it where it's thicker? Do you like it where it's the 1/4 inch? Just say A or B, and that'll be good. And then I'm sitting here, and you know how when you're looking at a card, you're done, you're like, yeah, this is a great card, anybody would be grateful to have it. And then you're like, I think I want to try splatters. I really do, because I have this pewter one from Tim Holtz, and it's gray, but it's subtle. It's like a silvery, and it has a little bit of shimmer, but it's not like crazy shimmer. Because you don't want to, sometimes you don't want to add too much when you have that foil, the mirrored look, and it because it's shiny as it is. But just a little bit of that splatter, nothing too major. And when I looked at it again, once it dried, it really does dry back. So it doesn't, at first glance, it doesn't like hit you across the face like, oh, someone was splattering all over this. It actually looks like it's kind of part of the pattern, which is really nice. So once that's done, then I set it off to the side. If you use the Nuvo drops, make sure you wait at least 24 to 48 hours. Don't put anything on top of it. Otherwise, you could risk your dot getting smushed. All right. So here's the close-ups of our final project. It was really a lot of fun. I like this one. I like this sketch itself. It's super simple, but you can give it a little pizzazz. We could have done glitter strips of paper. We could have done pattern paper over top of it. It would have been, I think it still would have been cute, So thank you guys again. Every Friday, I put up a sketch video. I really enjoy using them and, trying different things. And so definitely keep watching. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And I will see you guys with our next video. Hope you have a great weekend.